Okay, I'd like to get started if we could. Good morning. First of all, thank you to all of you that came in from outlying areas, Niagara, Hamilton, downtown. I appreciate you guys coming to TSSA 101. In case you don't know me, my name is Jim Penn. I am the quality manager for the company, and we're here to discuss the TSSA quality manual, in particular revision 2, which takes effect in 2014 and will last us through 2016. As you well know, TSSA is the Technical Standards and Safety Authority. They give us a 3-year certification. Brief history for the company. We started using the TSSA system in 2004 with what we call Revision 0, the first quality manual. Revision 1 didn't take place until 2011. So you can see that the system kind of fell off the rails a little bit. What we're here to do is we want to get this thing back on track with you guys. We want to make your lives a lot easier when you're performing these projects and making sure that your due diligence is covered and you stay in compliance. So the purpose of the program and the quality manual, this is to safely install equipment, be they boilers, chillers, etc., that are pressurized to above 15 psi. Guys, you all know a boiler is essentially a bomb. If we do an improper installation, that can lead to catastrophic events, something I personally would like to avoid, and I think you would as well. What this covers, the manual that you have in front of you right now is for mechanical power and process piping, which falls under the American Society of Mechanical Engineers codes B311, B313, and it also covers medical gas. It's basically broke up into a bunch of different sections. We're going to do a brief overview of those sections, and we'll come back later and do a deeper dive on each one. Excuse me. So first of all, manual revision control. That's my job as the quality manager, to look after the manual, make sure it's in compliance, make sure everything is up to date. The VP and his team are required to inform me of all code updates. The code updates must be added to the manual within 6 months of coming live. So we're going to review those together and we'll make sure that they get into the manual. Another section is drawings and the design control. This is the responsibility of the project manager and the foreman. You need to interface with the engineer and the engineering team of the owner. Your responsibility is to stay in compliance. Keep all the records of the initial drawings, drawing changes, extras, anything that you do. We need written records of these. Another section is on materials. Essentially, the foreman and the project manager will be dealing with one purchase agent in the company here who is going to be the sole person obtaining all the materials. They will make the vendors aware that this is a TSSA project, and all items such as inspections or mill reports, those have to be included with all the deliveries. Once you receive materials, this is the responsibility of the foreman to inspect and sign off on materials. I would strongly recommend that the foreman does this. Anything that's out of spec, anything that's incorrect, you must place a hold tag on it and you must isolate it from all the other materials to ensure that it is not used. This is very important. Any materials such as pipe, they have a stamp number on them. If you cut the pipes for particular installations within the facility, you have to make sure that the tags follow all the cuts. So this is very important that all you foremen follow this as well. If you have any problems, non-conformities on site, we have a corrective action program which has recently been updated and it's been approved to be used by TSSA. Essentially it involves holding and isolating materials, and you'll see that in the section of the manual. Welding and brazing controls. The foreman and the project manager, you must ensure that you have written records of everyone who is performing welding and brazing on your project. You have to keep records of this, and they must be made available and put in the job file. You must ensure proper techniques are followed. You must make sure all materials are used correctly, such as welding rods. You know your welding rods are going to have to be stored, heated properly before use. All of these things, you must make sure that you're doing these. Another facet of the job is going to be in the non-destructive testing. This usually takes place in the form of x-rays, pressure testing, that sort of thing. The project manager will work together with me to create an inspection and test plan, an ITP, which will have steps on it for going through all of this testing. It's up to the foreman to ensure that these are done correctly. No check boxes left unchecked, no writing spaces on there left open. Everything must be filled out, even if it is not applicable, you must write it fully. Another section is going to cover heat treatments, which are preheating and post-heating of pipes. Sometimes this is required for welding procedures. This again will be part of the ITP, and you must be recording the temperatures and times of everything prior to and after welding, okay? Calibrations of equipment. This includes scales, tape measures, levels, x-ray equipment, all of these. If they require calibration, we must have logs of these. You can work together with the tool crib, ensure that you get all the correct tools that are all calibrated, and we have records of these. Another area is inspections. Now, the inspections are done by a TSSA authorized inspector. My advice to all of you is to get in touch with your inspector immediately when you start the project. They're very knowledgeable. You can talk to them for advice, for clarity, you know, code rulings, all of these things. They're here to make your life easier. I would strongly recommend using them from cradle to grave on the job. If you have to do repairs, be they new repairs, existing repairs on devices or components within the facility already, these all must comply with the standard as well, and you can discuss that with your inspector. And finally, records. Records of materials, procedures, licenses, testing, inspections, all of these things are required, and we need these to be archived. Every 3 years, we are audited by TSSA on our program. They audit the quality manual, they audit for evidence, which is everything that's in the job folders. It proves that we practice what we preach, and there's also possibilities of interviews with you to ensure that you understand the program. So these are, the records are critical. We must have all the records. That's about it. Please understand the importance of this. We must be diligent in following the program. I don't want to field a phone call that one of our installations has failed. It's cost 2 people their lives. I don't want that call. You don't want that call. So please be diligent about this. Let's take a quick break, grab a coffee at the back of the room, and then we'll follow up with a deeper dive into every section, okay? Thanks.